We already know who you are and what you play and how long have you been playing, Bill?
Oh, about 40
Give us
years.
a story how it started, real quick, in a nutshell.
Actually, I was getting ready to transfer from grade school to high school, and I heard the summer vacation, I heard Tommy Dorsey had a radio program, and I told my mother, boy, I'd love to, play that horn, whatever it is, and so when it came time to sign up for a band, I was sick with the mumps, and so my mother signed me up. They put me on trombone. They put me on trumpet. And I said, no, I don't want to learn trumpet. Beginner's trumpet. I said, because everybody on trombone wanted to play trumpet. And I said, let me switch. And the band leader said, no, you have the perfect embouchure for trumpet. So anyway, I talked to my mother, and she called him and said he's going to quit unless you put him on trombone. He finally put me on trombone. But
so that partially answers the next question of who are your influences. Tommy Dorsey? Who else?
Oh, yeah, Tommy Dorsey, Jack Teagarden, Frank Rosolino, Carl Fontana, all the great jazz players, And Tommy, of course, was the most... I can't think of the term. He was the best of the bunch. He was the most prolific trombonist that ever lived, as far as I'm concerned. With his octave slurs and real mellow sound. Gorgeous tone. You don't hear that too much anymore.
Except Wednesday nights at the Green Dolphin.
Well, except Wednesday nights at the Green Dolphin. Thank you.
What are your best...
And at Dave Grier's house.
Well, yeah. What are your best and worst memories as a musician?
My best memories, of course, touring with Frank Sinatra, and also touring with the great jazz bands of Stan Kenton and Woody Herman, Harry James, Maynard Ferguson. those, Buddy Rich, those were really exciting days for me. I wish they were back.
You got a wild road story that you want to...
Oh, sure.
Share something.
Can I say it on the... We were on Stan Kenton's band one night, and they were all one-nighters. I think about 100 one-nighters, one after another. And we were going somewhere at 3 o'clock in the morning. The bus stopped, and I heard the bus driver. Everybody was sleeping, and I heard the bus driver shuffling around in the glove compartment. And then he got out, and he's looking under the bus, and then he comes back and looking in the glove compartment, and somebody asked him, what's wrong? He says, the bus is on fire, and I can't find a fire extinguisher. So Stan had everybody get out of the bus and stand up, and the engines were on top in those days. I don't know what they are now. In the back, yeah. So he had everybody stand there and urinate on the engine, including Stan. But we put the fire out.
Oh man!
But the cars were going by honking a horn, looking at this spectacle.
Did you have the band logo on the bus?
Yeah, well, I think they did. Yeah. Poor guy.
Well, obviously you mentioned. What are some of the big names that you've played with, though, in your career?
Practically everybody. From, as I said, Sinatra to Tony Bennett to Jimmy Durante, Red Skelton. We have Jerry Lewis, Dean Martin, and we've played them all. Sammy Davis Jr., Liza Minnelli. I'd even toured with Tom Jones for a while with Joe Parnello, who was a great friend of mine. Grew up with him, and he was Sinatra's conductor for about 20 years. No, that's right. It was Vic Damone. Then he went with Sinatra for about 5 years. 20 years with Vic Damone, 5 years with Sinatra. And then he went with Tom Jones, and I joined him. But practically everybody. But we're considered just in the band.
Right. Yeah, but they handpick you guys. Who had the most responsive crowds? With what band do you think that was?
Oh, actually, that's a good question. I think Stan Kenton, because when we played the Aragon here, the Aragon Ballroom, when they were having big dances before the heavy metal, whatever is in there now, I remember that there were crowds of 30 or 40 people deep in front of the band just standing there listening. you know, and then way in the back there'd be the dancers dancing way in the back, but they were piled up in front, you know, just
and when
listening.
you got done with a tune,
Yeah, they left.
there was a roar. Wasn't it?
No, yeah,
Not
roar,
like
yeah, right.
today where it's a smattering. It was a roar.
Well, they don't, people today don't understand. They don't know what it is. You know, they're not exposed to that kind of music anymore. It's sad. So they can't comprehend it.
What do you like most about this Wednesday gig at the Green Dolphin?
The fact that we have all the dancers and all the big band music lovers come here, and the guys love to play. You know, as you know, being in the business yourself, playing for a crowd is the answer. When there's nobody there, you know, you're not inspired to play, and this place is packed usually, you know, and so it's thrilling. It's, you know, it makes you want to play better.
There aren't too many places you can go see a band this size, this good, in this Chicago area, anywhere. I mean,
I think this is it.
this is it.
This is it, Dave.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Gotta
right.
keep it alive.
Yeah,
Right?
hopefully.
Okay, we've been talking with Bill Porter. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
How long have you been playing the drums?
Since I was a boy of 11.
Raised by wolves, right?
They're all incredible hand drummers, paw drummers.
Yes. So, what's your earliest memories of music? You got in a band when you first started playing, or what got you interested in it?
Hearing live music at picnics and functions like that my parents would go to when I was a boy.
Have any particular band that really got you going?
Well, seeing the Tommy and Jimmy Dorsey Orchestra on TV in the mid-'50s, that's one of the main reasons that I
Yeah.
was inspired to try and play music.
So those guys were obviously influences. What were other percussion influences?
Well, their percussionist drummer at that time was Louis Belson, and I specifically remember exchanges between him and a trumpet player named Charlie Shavers. Fantastic musicians.
Or did you play in school?
Yes.
Marching
In-
band at all?
High school, I played in band and orchestra. At the University of Illinois, I played orchestra, band, wind ensemble, marching band, jazz band.
And what's your favorite road story from your musical days? Wacky road story. Out of the ordinary.
Nothing really that I can remember right now other than the usual insanity of one-nighters sleeping on buses rather than checking into a motel. You know.
So you'd get done with a gig and literally have to start traveling right after the gig?
Yes, there was a sequence that I remember in particular where I was with Lee Castle's Jimmy Dorsey Ghost Band, and we finished playing in Pittsburgh on a night. The next night we were here in the Chicago area. The following night we were in the Minneapolis area, and the fourth night we were in Kansas City. And the bus driver was sleeping while we were playing the jobs.
That's perfect.
Total insanity.
Yeah.
Who would want to do that?
No. Yeah. And the money probably compared to today sucked.
It was very low money.
Yeah. What do you think of all the bands? Well, I should ask you first, what some of the guys you played with in your career, some of the main guys?
You mean in addition to playing with Bill?
Well, and of course, we're going to get
Yes.
to Bill. We'll save the best for last.
I've been fortunate enough to work with people like Clark Terry, Marion McPartland, Joe Pass, the guitarist,
Great.
Johnny Hartman, the vocalist. I fortunately got hooked up with him through Clark Terry. And also there was one week where Clark Terry surprised us, the vocalist, for a series of engagements was Joe Williams.
Oh, great.
That was fabulous.
Really. Now we get to, of course, the great Bill Porter. What's so great about Bill Porter, period?
He's a world-class musician. It's one of the best trombonists I've heard anywhere, live or on any recording. No question.
So you just love playing with him.
Indeed, I do. He's an inspiration.
What do you love about this Wednesday gig at the Green Dolphin?
It's steady.
And it's keeping something else alive here, too.
Yes, yes. I love the fact that the dancers show up on a fairly regular basis and that they seem inspired by the music that we play, and that,
That
it's a
instant
complete
reaction.
yes, it's a complete circle.
All right, great, man. Thank you.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Thank you. I appreciate it also.
Probably the three major influences are J.J. Johnson, Carl Fontana.
Bill Porter.
No. And the other great trombone player that, oh, God. Frank Rossellino.
Okay. And I know these are going to jump all over the place, but these interviews are going to just be cut in
Yeah,
snippets.
I know.
What are your best and worst memories while playing music?
My best memories were probably 40s and 50s. In the 50s, I worked for a contractor that when all these big bands were in the area, they called this contractor. We were everybody's band at the time. We were Tex Beneke's band for 6-7 years. We were Skitch Henderson's band. We were Claude Thornhill's band. We were Vaughn Monroe's band and many others, all the same guys, just a different leader.
And you got a favorite road story of something that happened on the road that was kind of out of the ordinary?
Yeah, I have one kind of funny story. We were in Muskegon, Michigan. We were working Mike Douglas' show, and we stayed at this motel. They were not too used to blacks, and we had one black saxophone player on the band, and he and I roomed together. His name was Frank Derrick. And when we were checking out, every couple gave their names, and when she looked at us, she said, "Which two are you?" I said, "We're Avis and Andy," which broke up the band and kind of destroyed the person at the counter.
That's very nice. Where were the best crowds, do you think? What kind, where? In the country, or where kind of venue? Where did you have the best response, you think?
Well, when I was working with Beneke, we worked all the WASP country clubs. All these people with all the money, and they'd hire Tex Beneke's band, because after Miller died, he took over the band. But it was always the Glenn Miller Orchestra under the direction of Tex Beneke. And one evening, Tex decided to make it the Tex Beneke band, and Glenn Miller's wife came in with an attorney and took all the music off the stand. And we had to fake the rest of the gig
Oh my God.
for that evening, and he had a whole new book reprinted. Yeah.
What do you find special about this Wednesday gig at the Green Dolphin with Porter?
I'll tell you, I just love to play it. It's a very loose gig, good musicians, a good book, and it's just fun to do. I would do it for nothing.
This club, what do you think?
It's a nice venue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy it here, and it's 10 minutes from the house, which helps.
So what makes Bill Porter such a great guy?
Well, I've known Bill probably over 50 years. He's always been a great trombone player, and he's worked with a lot of great bands. And what amazes me, he's still, even now he plays great, which is amazing.
Yeah, because he's what, 93?
No, he's a little younger than that.
I started when I was 5. I'll be 50 in December, so 45 years.
So what made you want to pick it up?
My father was a musician.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he was with the original Glenn Miller Orchestra, so he's saxophone.
Oh yeah.
That's his horn I'm playing, actually. When he passed away, I took his.
So that thing is about,
Well, that's one of the newer ones. That one's only about 40 years old.
Jesus. So who was your major influence besides your father to get into this business?
Oh, I don't know. I just listened to like Charlie Parker and Zoot Sims and things like that and wanted to play.
Just, did you do it in school at all? Or?
Did it all through, grammar school and high school.
Right.
And in college, I majored in accounting, but by the time I was in college, I was already playing professionally. I started when I was 16,
Oh yeah.
playing in wedding bands and parties and stuff like that.
So locally, when did you
locally.
start touring?
I started on tour with the Lombardo Band in 1989, I believe it was. and I was out full time for 12 years with them.
So you got a few road stories. What's
Yeah.
one of your favorites?
Oh, I can't tell you on camera.
Tell me one you can tell me on camera.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, probably just one of the ones
You
that.
can skirt the edge.
Yeah. We just talk about the miles we traveled and stuff, and we had a van breakdown, so I had to go rent a van at National Car Rental. And when I took it out of there, I had like 138 miles on it, something like that. And when we brought it back after the week, it had like 6,500 miles on it. And the guy scanned it with the scanner, and he looks, he says, this can't be right. I said, what do you mean? He says, well, somebody must have messed up the mileage when you took it out. I said, why? He says, well, I only had 138. I says, yeah. He says, well, it's got 6,500 now. I said, yeah, that's about right. He says, you're kidding. I says, no, well, you said unlimited miles, right? He said, we'll have to retire this car in about a month.
Got your money's worth out of that.
You got that one right.
What are some of your best and worst memories playing music?
I don't think I have any worst memories. I mean, I really enjoyed my...
Other than that breakdown.
Yeah. But they're all good. They're all good experiences because you're with guys, friends and things like that. I said I grew up in the business. When I was working in town before I went on the road, I worked a lot with my dad. A lot of people don't have that opportunity, And we did things, and everybody's a big family. Like, Bill and I are great friends, and we go out and work together, and it's fun. It's just, so that you have nights that something might not go right or something like that, or but overall, there's no bad memories really.
Right.
Yeah.
What are some of the big guys, the names you've played with? You mentioned Lombardo.
Oh, gee, Jan Garber, I was on the road with that band. Tommy Dorsey, I worked with them. I conducted for Bob Newhart. We've done all the shows like the Four Tops and Temptations and all that. So Bob Hope.
Who do you think were the best crowds? Who got the best reaction that you ever worked?
We get a pretty good reaction here.
Yeah. Well, so that leads into the next question. What do you really like about this gig on Wednesdays at the Green Dolphin?
It gives us a chance to open up and kind of do the things that we want to do, as opposed to what we have to do playing for the the usual crowds that like big band cop. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
It gives us a chance to open up and stretch out and play our music that we want to enjoy.
So it's not like a real high-paying gig.
No. Yeah.
This is I want to do it.
That's right. Exactly.
I've been playing saxophone for about 15 years. I started playing drums when I was 4, so I've been pretty much into musical instruments my whole life. So
We'll have to adjust for these noisy flutists. Okay. So you've been playing since, did you play through school, grade school?
yeah.
Bands?
Yep, yeah. I started out with clarinet in school, and I played that up through high school. Then I started with saxophone, like my sophomore year of high school. So.
So what was your major influence that got you wanting to pick it up, period?
At the time, I'd have to say like Michael Brecker, John Coltrane, Charlie Parker, definitely some of my influences. I also like a lot of like the more contemporary artists like David Sanborn as well. So.
And what are some of your best and worst memories while playing music?
Probably my best memory so far has been playing with, I had a chance to play with Aretha Franklin. That was probably one of the highlights of my career. As far as worst, probably have to say being involved in the, not only the jazz scene, but the rock music scene, getting to clubs and like finding out the date was canceled. And there's no guarantees, and you're kind of out of luck.
Speaking of stuff like that, you've probably got a pretty good road story back in the archives. Can you share one with us?
Sure. Yeah, along those same lines, I was with a band. This is about like 4 years ago. We had a show in Cleveland, Ohio. Got to the club early, set up all our stuff, and we're pretty much hanging out in the club, waiting for the go-ahead from the sound guy to start. And we ended up waiting for like 2 hours, and he finally comes up to us. We're thinking we were getting ready to start. He said, "You're done playing. Time to pack up." Yeah, that was kind of a